Ultimately, people ask, well, what do you want to do if you get elected? And my question is, how do we improve Shrewsbury in the long term and not threaten its very foundation during this deep economic slide? Clearly, the economic recession facing our country, our state, and our community is difficult and deep. However, we must not lose sight of our long-term strategic objectives. I see the Board of Selectmen as the board of directors for our town, a company of approximately $90 million. Our board must dedicate focus on the strategic elements of municipal fiscal management and planning, land use planning, and long-term issues facing our community. It's during the immediacy of difficult times that focus on the future becomes more critical. If we fail to focus on the years ahead and solely on surviving the current year, we will relive our challenges each year over. During the coming several weeks, our town will be faced with great fiscal uncertainty as it completes the upcoming fiscal year budget that must be balanced by July 1. The options facing us are untenable. The few possible lifesavers are one-time shots in the arm, whether it be some version of the federal stimulus program, or whether it be another opportunity where the employees step up and work with the town and solve an issue relative to the collective bargaining agreement. These examples illustrate the one element necessary and critical for any budgeting exercise: known and quantifiable facts. We need to avoid rushing to conclusions that may threaten the quality of our public school system, our ability to protect the public safety, and perhaps the functional existence of our library. Such critical decisions made on incomplete information will erode public confidence. Fact-based information must be our path to July 1. In its role as the Board of Directors, I believe the Selectmen should convene regular joint meetings of the School Committee and Finance Committee to focus on the fiscal challenges facing us this year, next year, and the years coming. By doing so, we will ensure sufficient focus is given to the long-term fiscal challenges of our town. The collective experience of each member serving on those various boards will ensure that we meet the challenges faced and ensure that town meeting members and the public have a transparent view of the basis and reasoning for decisions brought forth. In a time when saying cash is king is back in vogue, we should seek to establish a free cash level sufficient to cushion us against an additional local aid cut in the coming fiscal year. Additionally, in a year when every dollar generated by the tax levy must be guarded carefully, we need to review our policy of using operating cash to make capital purchases. Additionally, this year's budget reality may force us to reevaluate the wisdom of using scarce operating dollars to subsidize certain accounts. How do we ignore the troubling conundrum of subsidizing weekly and seasonal trash pickup and water rates in the face of laying off teachers, firefighters, and potentially gutting services to the seniors and our library? In an effort to reduce long-term operating costs and, quite frankly, to do the right thing, our board, with the expertise offered by Selco, should seek to more completely benefit from the recently passed Green Communities Initiative. Consider the savings to be realized and how much fuel oil and natural gas costs we could avoid in our school department and across our town buildings if geothermal, wind, or solar prove to be worthwhile. The state has the grant money for the analysis. We have the in-house technical expertise and the need for long-term operational savings. On the issue of economic development, we must find a path to expand our commercial tax base. There's no doubt about that. I support the continuation of our single tax rate at this time. A town cannot tax itself into an expanded, high-quality commercial tax base. Shrewsbury needs a more upfront and comprehensive permitting process. Investors and neighbors deserve greater certainty in a tighter time frame, and the town needs a process competitive with other communities. Our board needs to ensure today that we are optimizing opportunities available within our community. If the Glavin Center closes, it appears that we're on a path to provide the necessary zoning to maximize that value to the community while respecting the neighbors. We must also work together on the planned closing of the Calvary Center on South Street to ensure that the reuse of that property respects the needs of the current owner, the neighbors, while affording our community much-needed opportunity. We need not only to continue the efforts already in place and under consideration to consolidate departments, but more aggressively review our operating structure. It's not enough to assert that there's fluff in the town's budget. It's incumbent on every board and commission to turn back as much money as they can, as cash is king. We need to aggressively seek regional solutions and partnerships with other communities and organizations to solve our mutual challenges. Friends, I have the public and private sector experience necessary to help lead Shrewsbury in the coming 3 years. There are 3 individuals seeking this seat. The election will determine the direction of Shrewsbury for the years to come. Your support and your vote will decide that direction for our town. I'm very optimistic about Shrewsbury's future and want to bring my leadership and experience to service toward the town. I ask you to please discuss my candidacy with your neighbors and friends. I ask you to please display a yard sign. And most importantly and respectfully, I ask for your vote on May 5th. Thank you very much, and God bless America.